So, hello everybody. I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. And you guys know what this is. This is a pure Mexican avocado, who doesn't like a good set of avocados, right? but fairly rare uh, here in the U.S. still. This is Persea americana, the subspecies drymifolia, I believe is how you say it. So fairly rare. You don't see them very often. Any avocado you're going to buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or even online, they are various hybrids of this or that, of all the avocado species and varieties. But pure Mexican avocado trees, the ones that are very cold tolerant, are, I don't want to say extremely rare, but very rare. And these guys can take it cold. I believe below 20 degrees, and maybe even 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees lower is what I've heard people say. So, big difference from your standard avocado. These have a much larger range where they would be able to be grown, and they're just not that common. The fruits aren't as large as your standard, varieties you can find and buy, so that might have something to do with it. But they tend to taste better. Uh, I've had the pleasure of tasting some of the avocado berries, some people call them because they're so small, and they do. They're amazing tasting. I don't care for the skin, even though the skin can be edible. Some of them have fairly strong flavored skin, some don't, but they tend to be really fatty, creamy avocados, and it's just to die for, guys. But anyway, I have this beautiful, pure Mexican avocado right here, and you can tell you just rub the leaves on these guys. Oh, they smell heavenly and really nice. She's grafted. Um, I was debating on putting her in the ground, but she has a lot of very tender new growth on her, and we're, the end of September here. So I'm a bit worried because she's still in full growth. That if we do have a cold winter, even though she's very cold tolerant, that I'm not putting that on a small tree with tender, fleshy growth. That cold tolerance is very likely the mature growth or hardened off growth, not something that's brand new and very fleshy. So I don't want to risk it. I'm going to up pot her into a larger pot and probably fertilize the heck out of her to get some budwood. But yeah, very excited. This is my first Mexican avocado, the drymifolia, and I lost so many avocado trees last year with the flooding from was it Hurricane Milton? I don't even remember anymore. So replacing my avocado trees and hopefully replacing them with much more cold tolerant species here, because I've lost avocados to the cold and I've lost avocados to the flooding, and I'm tired of losing my avocado trees, especially after putting years of work into them. And then we get a cold snap in the low 20s and they freeze and die, or we stand in muddy water for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they drown to death, right? Uh, I can fix the flooding issue a little bit, mound them up, or find a drier spot. The cold, when they're in the ground, it's a little more difficult to handle, obviously. So I am working on making sure I have the most cold tolerant plants available on the most cold tolerant rootstock available. And I have very high hopes for these. We'll see how they do, guys. I'm not going to show you me potting it up, but very interesting varieties, and I'll keep you updated on how they do, and hopefully have some grafts or some budwood available next year if you're interested. But super cold tolerant, delicious avocados. I mean, what more could you ask for, right? The only other issue we face in my area is avocado dieback, where the trees just literally start dying. They wilt, they die. I believe it's called laurel wilt that's affecting the avocados. I don't know I have to actually do my research. I don't even know how it's spread. So I've never even looked into that. But something I gotta look into. So hopefully, I've heard that these are more resistant to that. I have read. I don't know. I'd take everything I read with a grain of salt until I test it out myself. So see how it goes. But yeah, very interesting. And just making a quick video. Love you guys. See you later. Grow food. Grow some Mexican avocados. This subspecies of drymifolia. You know, still extremely fairly rare here in the U.S. And they taste pretty amazing. So there you go. Love you guys. See you later.